Questions from the followers. Do you think mammoths could be recovered as a species by taking some samples, maybe even DNA from some bones? Could that be done?
The DNA is very degraded, but it is possible that the species can be recovered. Even with the frozen tissue, the DNA will be damaged, especially the mitochondrial DNA. The nuclear DNA gets also damaged, but the mitochondrial DNA degrades first. But it would be possible to take many cell samples and be able to assemble a single genome with parts of several cells from the same mammoth to form a viable mother cell with which to form more, to complete a new mammoth, for example in a medpod. Yes, it could be done. Difficult with official human technology, but yes.
Thank you. And why does that DNA degrade? Because there's hardly anyone there anymore?
Because the cell loses integrity as it degrades and rots.
What is true about the melting of Greenland?
Yes, and it's natural and it always happens, and at the South Pole and various other glacial places. But they use it to promote climate change and all that. Yes, it is true that they are melting, and the glaciers and the like are not recovering, but they are normal cycles of the Earth, not a cause of human overpopulation.
Those glaciers will come back again, right?
At its time, yes. The Earth is not static. Everything moves dynamically according to circumstances.
And what do they mean by fossil fuels? We all know that fuels aren't fossil fuels.
More manipulation. Oil is renewable and in the short term. It is not fossil, it is not scarce. It is seawater, chemically transformed by the Earth itself. So, in essence, that's it.
How is energy stimulated to create matter through technology? One thing is through consciousness, through which we all manifest our reality. But how is it done with technology?
The technology is not manipulating the potential energy field, but emulating or copying the consciousness itself to force through energetic frequencies that energy to behave in a specific way that is concordant to what is desired to create, be it object or situation. Consciousness is energy in a high vibratory state. Every material object and situation is also a series of energetic points called nodes that are arranged in a specific order to form atoms and then molecules that will form an object. The specific order of the nodes in the energy is manipulated with the use of frequency manipulation with a computer that has a detailed map of the energetic properties of that object and copies and prints them. Matter is energy, and energy is matter, without any difference other than the perception of the observer.
If in order to have clean and free energy, we somehow have to work with some density that is above us, how can we do it if not with the help of someone who is higher than us?
It is how magnets work. If one pole, your density, has a specific frequency, and you have where to channel the corresponding energy, its opposite equivalent in the opposite existential pole, ether, will create an equivalent but opposite electrical depolarization, creating energy in the form of a spark. When you manage to bring many together in a controlled way, you have a free and clean energy reactor. You do not need to be physically on the other side to make the contact or electrical connection, you just provoke it from your side. Everything that exists on the material side is an emanation, materialization, or manifestation of what is in the form of an energy pattern on the ether side, so there must always be the energetic equivalent of your reactor on the ether side.
Who contacted George Adamski?
Inhabitants of Venus. It is not known who was one of these inhabitants. There was a lot of cooperation between Venus and Taygeta, so some ships are similar in appearance. But later, the relations have been broken by negative infiltration of the Earth's cabal. In short, We have it on record that they were from Venus, but it is possible that it was a German posing as a Venusian. That would explain the lack of details in the records on the subject.
Speaking of the Holy Spirit, you know about the Virgin of Fatima who appeared to some shepherds and revealed the mystery of the Holy Trinity to them? Do you know anything about that?
My answer will not be well received. It was lizards with technology imposing agendas with holograms. Then they added more cream. Yes, it happened. It's just that what the children saw is not true. It is not the first time that has happened, because the same idea has been used for centuries. They once again have it in mind. It's what they call blue beam, and they will use it again.
What do you see in a man, and what does a man see in Taygeta woman to become a couple?
The physical attractiveness of both is always essential chemistry, just like on Earth, but they don't want to accept that for other reasons, morality, religion, shame, whatever. And then there's the compatibility factor. Usually that's known by telepathy with day-to-day interaction. And they also find each other through past life memories. It's the same as on Earth, but more complex. As you see, everything is always more complex here, the same but with other layers or levels added. In the case of Taygeta, these are the factors of past life memory and soul or admathic compatibility. People have a tendency to look for each other again and again. The frequencies are the signal, which exists as a radio signal. Each person decodes it and gives it interpretation or meaning, like a song decoded by a stereo electronic that used to be only radio waves.
A question I was asked: do the Taygetans know of higher density technology?
It doesn't differ much from that of so-called 5D. There is an impasse, because it is all frequency manipulation, as you have seen. And in higher densities, although there is technology, it works the same, and that technology that they have is or would only be for interacting with beings of lower densities, because there they manifest everything with the mind. As I said before, if someone can manifest a ship with the mind, they don't need a ship. But they only manifest it to appear as something to relate to for people living in densities below them. There, everything is mind. Everything you desire already is.